Okay, last time there was some problem with the recording. It wouldn't stop recording, so I had some trouble editing the video. Hopefully that won't happen this time. Hopefully the recording equipment will work properly. Last I thought we were interrogating some Mario and Luigi, if they were English. Okay.
Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand.
Alright, I get to do more silly voices. I also have some food for me, so immersion. Get to hear my disgusting chewing noises.
I presume you heard the defense's counsel summations for examination.
Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, Gov, I did.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
God blimey.
This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windybanks.
Well, it was bedlam, wasn't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
However, that was a lie. You did have time to pull your dukes out of your Lucy lockets. You brothers!
God blimey.
The Dipshit Brothers. On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter.
We never done nothing of the sort. How'd you figure that out?
Oh. You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time you will tell the truth.
Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. Dude, and that, gentleman, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. You're gonna swing for this. A thought worth pondering, perhaps.
Say no more, Gov, here. We'll blab, we'll squeak, we'll pinch.
Squealing.
It was me. I'm sorry. I just love squealing.
Illegal entry. The whole truth.
Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we had the gunshots, say, made the smoke jumper and all that stuff went flying.
Lummy, it didn't have to give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter'd come out of the door and get us next.
We stuck everything back where we found it and scarpered right back into the black.
We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we?
Okay, I'm gonna have to prove that statement contradictory.
So you admit to the defense's accusation, you did indeed ransack Mr. Windybank's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no.
That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah. Sorry.
By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess.
The way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all.
We don't, Nash, we don't. You can't make us sound a bit more cutthroat?
I'm always worried that the microphone is too close to my nose. It can't just be coincidence that these men showed up at Windybanks that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it.
Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing.
It was when we had the gunshots, see? Made us both jump and all that stuff went flying.
So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter.
Well, it shocked us. One of us that much, yeah. This bag of nerves needs to learn to keep this short on.
Look, it was loud, alright? Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up about that bang.
Big brother here screamed like a bloomin' baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot.
Skull.
That got tangled in some marionette. We what knocked over a picture frame, what knocked them scales on the floor.
You really mastered working quietly then.
What a racket. Me granny would have been scared back into her grave at a clatter like that.
So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise.
And then some. I mean, it was quiet as a mouse, and...
Got something to say? Nom nom. Okay. It's like a sausage roll. I have like a sausage roll. Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add?
Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels.
Hello, what's all this then?
No, something to add about their testimony. You seemed to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something?
Oh, it's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it, only... Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details.
Alright, time to prove that you're the best and brightest of Scotland Yard. How about you just tell us what's on your mind?
As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now.
Oh! It did it.
You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, Gov, might have. It does ring a bell now you mention it.
You
Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still, I can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? What's all this then?
If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them.
Oh no, he's gonna send them to Australia!
Easy.
We'll get it right this time.
That's it, yep, it's all coming back to me now.
I'm slipping again.
And speak. Supplement your testimony with other details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds. Sus. Right you are, Gov.
Do they even have governors in Britain?
Probably. They have precincts. Sorry. Came just before the gunshot. We had a voice on now. Give me that gun.
Man or woman?
So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously? We did, Gov, we did.
Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavering voice before the yelling off.
If you don't want to get shot,
give me that gun.
bam!
Kind of thing.
Could we add that to the record, the charades they did? I liked that. A career in acting, tragically missed. Yeah. Well, they were originally an improv troupe before they came down on harsh times, because nobody likes improv. So, nobody liked improv, so they had to become robbers. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell?
Of course we could. From the other side of that door behind the counter it was.
From the storeroom where the victim was found dead.
And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windybank. On me granny's life, of course it was.
On his granny's life, of course it was.
Wouldn't you have the same granny? So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windybank and the sound of his voice. Maybe this step was...
So that would mean what?
Or hash brothers. What, Nash, what? Any ideas?
Yes, Counsel, indeed it would. No, we didn't know the geezer.
How am I supposed to deny when that bloke in all the fancy clothers giving us the evil eye?
If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true.
On me granny's life it is.
On his granny's life it must be.
It's a good job his granny's dead.
To summarize, then. Immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot.
causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor.
You make it sound like we're clumsy.
Don't forget we tied it up after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it, the bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl.
You're saying that Mr. Windybank had a gun in his hands?
Oh yeah, I bet that was a sight, eh? Two of them waving them guns at each other. Must have got pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted out, we had the geezer say, if you don't want to get shot.
Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say.
Mr. Windybank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. Nah, he's really just threatened to shoot himself. That someone being himself, of course.
Oh, good grief, extraordinary devotion indeed, if elaborately misguided. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person he was going to shoot beat him to it. Cooking his goose proper.
Barely wished he squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun."
And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot.
It was more or less at the same time, Gov. Give me that gun. Bam! Kind of thing.
Yes, a career in acting. Very tragically missed. You know what they say, joke's funnier when you say it the second time.
Then we had the sound of someone hitting the deck, before everything went dead quiet.
After that, we done a slapdash job tidying the place up.
Lummy didn't have to give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter'd come out the door and get us next.
We stuck everything back where we found it and scuppered straight into them the black.
So you didn't try to open the storeroom then?
Not on your life.
It went deathly quiet after that, it did, but the wind right up me. But anyway, the door was locked, wasn't it? No way that was opening.
Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside, or so we've been led to believe.
It was, Gov, it was, from the inside.
Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we?
Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through the keyhole, or a spy hole, perhaps.
Don't ring no bells, don't light no lights. We had to cut and run before we noticed anything like that. We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day...
we'll really cut the mustard.
Please, cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. How unfortunate. Gina was in there, unconscious, with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom?
That's right, Gov, that's right.
Couldn't have, even if we'd wanted to.
We stuck everything back where we found it and scuppered straight into him in the black.
Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, yeah, we was a bit hasty there.
We was, now we was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up. If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand.
Voice is different every time.
Good advice, miss, good advice.
Truth be told, my mind went totally blank. Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand.
But to the main list.
Hold on, look, I've updated the autopsy report. After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or something, so they clapped the derbies on us like winking.
And after you've been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct?
Well, yeah.
But listen, that proves it, don't it? Hey? Hey? We couldn't have shot the public, see? We never even had a chance, did we?
Okay, I'm got a hunch. There's got to be something here that proves they had a chance. 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. Nothing to indicate that that was after the shooting. Ah, see, it was slightly moved. Okay, I have a theory. It's possibly the picture, because they clearly, the shit is all was moved after the shooting. So, that means they could have shot. Nope. Didn't do it. Didn't work. Guilty. Send her to Australia. Oh, shit. That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony?
What is it, Bruno? You look very fierce. Hold on, Nick. I've updated the autopsy report. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired.
Do they pronounce the H? Do British pronounce the H in herb? Herb? No thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh, but I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something important. It's nothing more than a feeling, though. I've no proof to support it.
Well, feelings can be very logical at times.
Sorry?
People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in, and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you described. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why, that's all. I think you should trust your instincts.
Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5. Bro. Oh, shit. Never had a chance. Come on. And why should we believe that?
Well, because it's true, ain't it?
That place was totally empty when we went in.
At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused, who had a gun to his head. Oh, they knocked over the stuff on the desk, then they moved. That's why it was moved after the shooting. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Windybank. Correct?
You got it, mister. Down to a T.
So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windybank. Is that really true, I wonder? That's it. That's the full extent of their testimony. Okay, this shit again. Blah, blah, blah. Science, science, science. I already checked the... Well... The bloke who owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired at the girl. But that contradicts this photo right here.
Objection.
Don't know why I didn't think of that before. You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun? Is that correct?
There's it go. You've got the picture.
He has, now she has, no question.
And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not in possession of a firearm of any description. You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more?
Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel.
Your mom's pussy was severely lacking.
Yeah, that's right. Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer could have been about to turn the tables on that girl, eh?
Hardly likely.
No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence.
I was just pointing out
Continue with the cross-examination, counsel. And heed my earlier warning, witnesses.
The Skulkin's never skulkin'. Well, surely that at least revealed some of the information. The bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. Let's look at the evidence. One more look at the evidence. This is the Windy Bank gun. Maybe there's new information. Completely empty gun. Oh! No, nothing. Oh, yay. Dipshit Brothers gun. Went rifling for nothing.
Hold it!
Are you sure you weren't rifling? Why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place?
Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted something like that, people would think we was up to no good.
Were you up to no good?
Well, sir, Ringo, me old China, we'd only land ourselves in even more trouble.
And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble.
Oh, well, that's rotten luck.
Says the rotten apple eater. Ouch. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter?
We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied the place up. Sorry.
As before the voice, you heard a young voice yelling out, "Give me a gun." The lover on the place was holding a gun, should have fired at the girl. We were thinking the shooter come out of the door. Skip the guy in the black. Shit! Didn't have a chance. Oh, god damn it, I hate it when I accidentally skip the text and I have to sit through the dialogue. Blah 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 blah. Had the gun, holding a gun, give us a spook. We couldn't have hit the pawnbroker. Shit. Never had a chance. Couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. Let's look at that autopsy report. I swear to God. Where's the autopsy report? Ah. Let's see. Time of death. 1:30. 1 o'clock to 1:30. That is a very wide gap, and we know that it was after 1 o'clock. Oh, I see. And whatever. Yunosuke Naruhodo, single bullet wound on the back on a gently rising diagonal trajectory. Could have, they were shot in here, so why were they in the... Never had a chance. Couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. Straight into him in the black. I guess I'll just press them on the things I missed. Maybe it'll reveal new information. You didn't try to open the storeroom door then? Not on your life. Wait. Oh, no, I did press this already. So what was it? What would prove... Everything couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. Okay, gotta take a risk, because I am just lost. Never had a chance. Couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. Maybe. Well. Maybe the Windy Bank gun was used to shoot Sherlock, and this gun is the one that killed Windy Bank. Never had a chance.
Objection.
No. Okay, let's see here. Third one. They fired a gun at... They were facing each other, as seen in this photograph. He was shot in the back.
Objection.
What? Fine, fine, fine. I'll do it one more time. He was holding a gun. Heard a voice yelling. Let's do this one.
Objection.
It said crime scene photo or autopsy report, but no. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
That's it, go. You've got the picture.
Yes, now she has. No question.
And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not holding a firearm of any description.
You what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection.
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windybank's gun was found at the scene. Yes, but who was holding it? Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hands. Yeah, okay, but, like, was that the gun used to kill Windybank? Maybe. That was the gun that shot, Sholmes.
Yeah, that Multooler used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun. Bam!
Kind of thing.
Hold it.
There we go. Stay exactly where you are. Right there.
Eh?
If the crime had taken place as you've so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just had out.
Goodness, are you sure, counsel?
You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where's the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? It's the motherfucking autopsy report. The motherfucking autopsy report. According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot.
Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe.
Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable consistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Yeah! But, it's the God's honest truth.
It is, Dash, it is. When we were shot that night,
the shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes.
Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a gun?
Something like that might have slipped out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw, with their own eyes, the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person.
Nash,
The Dipshit Brothers.
Order! Order! Witnesses, explain yourself at once. Well, the thing is, it was supposed to,
It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witnesses would be the death of you. Oh shit, they're gonna send him to Australia!
Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies?
You should have gotten an extended warrant.
Ever so gone. Sorry, Governor. Truth is, see,
Cut it out, Nash, cut it out! If we blab now, you know what he'll do to us.
He? Who are they talking about? Oh! Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you.
Bruv, come on, the game's up.
But he'll have our guts for garters.
In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out.
On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
Do we have to?
If you don't want to get sent to straight on pain of death, I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Ugh.
Alright, so we just gone inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug.
Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it.
For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
I pulled me gun at him, and then he legged it through the door into the back room.
We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop.
Well, yeah, sorry. Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest, Governor, this time,
Nash, this time. We ain't got nothing more to hide.
Very well. Counsel of the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. Alright. I don't notice anything right away, but let's see. So we just got inside the cavity this Saturday for that geezer showed his mag.
Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed.
So he said give me that gun to them, not to Gina. You mentioned that Mr. Windybank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claimed that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door.
Oh, well, did we?
But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he?
Well, yeah.
Was the victim, Mr. Windybank, wielding a gun at the time?
Was he ever? Blimey lummy. A great ugly barrel he had, pointed straight at me fronting piece.
So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windybank with the gun at that time. Is that right?
It is, Gov, it is. Spot on.
Then all of a sudden he came at us, he did.
It was bedlam. I don't know who was going for who.
You were clearly all going for each other.
Like Nash said, we thought we'd had it. I mean... Fine old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
I pulled me gun at him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room.
Were you intended to shoot Mr. Windybank?
No, never. I was just, you know. Looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget.
By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. Property loss. And then the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is that it?
Yeah, that's it. He shot me away and ran off through that door and shot himself in.
Something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true.
I wonder why Mr. Windybank ran away into the storeroom.
What? Ooh. Why did he run away? because there was a gun pointed at him. Well, according to what everyone's saying, Gina was in there waiting for him, with a gun. Ah, yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windybank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windybank's hands again? I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it? Oh, this little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Add it to the testimony.
Look, the point is, me and me brother.
That's right, that's right. Me and me brother. We never had nothing to do with counting. That's all we abandoned. That's all what happened, I swear.
Wait. Shucked me over the counter, gave me the gun, and threw at us like he was. When the geezer shows us. Was he holding a gun? When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor that shot Mr. Windybank.
Oh, well, sorry. I mean, that's right. We was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the car, obviously. But we never thought no one was going to come out of the back room like that.
The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom.
Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place he could have been.
So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises.
Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well.
But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windybank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you see the accused at that time?
What, that Montula? Couldn't tell ya.
No way, Cobber. We had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it.
No mention of the gun, which sucks, because I could
give me that gun, he bellowed, and he threw at us like he was possessed. Thought we had it.
For an old geezer, the book was strong as locks. Chucked me over the counter.
Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony, too.
Well, yeah, of course we did.
He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot.
And that got tangled in some marionette. One knocked over a picture frame, one knocked them scales on the floor.
So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter.
Well, Big Brother here went flying off that counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. The old geezer pinned him.
He did, Ash, he did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a blue pancake in seconds.
At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There's a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Windybank. He did everything he could to protect his shop.
I pulled me at him, and then he legged it through that door to the back room.
We never had nothing to do with him. That's all that happened, I swear.
You say you had nothing to do with it.
Nothing at all.
Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, did he?
Locked it was from the inside.
We know it was, because we tried to open it.
But as it eats the door, that one good and struck. Wouldn't budge an inch.
So in the end, the situation remains unchanged.
Wait a minute. Maybe I gotta cross-examine. Maybe I gotta press him twice.
Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Wait.
It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly shot Mr. Windybank? There could have been. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
What?
What's that look for?
From the moment you admitted that you'd encountered the victim face-to-face that night, the course of this trial changed completely.
It did?
What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who should have shot Mr. Windybank? And it is the belief that the defense that the defendant is... it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what are the possible answers to the question of who shot the man could there be?
Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of 2 conundrums.
2, my lord. Twice as many chances to be right, maybe.
Indeed. Namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Okay. Understood, my lord.
Are you alright, Reno?
I'm not entirely sure. There's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. Shit. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. Oh shit. Let me save first. Okay. Where could they have done it? Well, obviously it would have been in the door frame before the door was locked. The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And in answer to the second question. Assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? Let me look at that core record. Well, obviously they were right there. The defense believes that the victim would have been in this position here. Ah, shit, I fucked it up. So... shooter guy was here. And... victim was here. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windybank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, a crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired?
So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom?
Had to have been, because he was shot from the back. Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony...
I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room.
If Mr. Windybank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at that time. It was at precisely that moment, when the victim was fleeing for his life, that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Sorry.
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial?
Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height themselves, or shot by someone who was thrown to the ground.
Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety.
Ah, of course! He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. Oh. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it still would have entered his body on an upward trajectory.
So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windybank.
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? God, but, what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? My client.
Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside?
It was Gina. Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the seal room? For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck.
I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel,
why do you want to put a woman in a noose, misogynist? Ah, yes, that's a tricky one, that, isn't it? Don't tell me I get penalized.
Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does. Yes, come on, you got this. You're on a roll. Keep going. Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh, yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windybank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windybank must have heard the intruders breaking into a shop and left the storeroom. Maybe they were just playing, Uno.
Intruders, eh? That's us, bro.
If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Bang! Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windybank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment?
I see where you're going with this.
Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windybank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it. And we ain't, God, we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shoot 101.
That's blatantly untrue. I know a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Aw, shit, but there was only one gun. There was only one missing bullet in their gun. They would have to have shot it twice in order to shoot both Sholmes and Windybank. Unless... No, but they couldn't have... There goes my other theory. They couldn't have used Windybank's gun to shoot Sholmes because it would have been locked inside the room with Gina. Ah, fuck. I already know what's gonna happen. There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windybank's murder. But there was only one missing bullet in the chamber.
Where does this leave us?
You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all?
I should have known it was those three brothers. They look as shady as the did force.
That was amazing, Runo. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now.
Here it comes. I know, first time ever, and probably the last.
Well, I think you've done it. Surely they'll have to give a verdict of not...
Oh, here it comes. You fool. An admirable effort, my learned friend. Here it comes. Von Karma, no. He's laughing.
You find the situation amusing, Lord Fatsius. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive.
I dare say. Such chicanery is the best chicanery. You think this is Brad? This chicanery? She's done worse. I gotta screenshot that. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. Yeah, and for those of us who don't have the dictionary for assholes, ha, got him. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. Here it comes. A fatal flaw? Bullets. Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing?
I say, Lord Van Zix, might be an idea to explain this bally conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground,
You're above the ground, buddy. The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really quite simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets.
By George, count bullets!
Oh dear. Isn't your name George? You noticed them. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Let's look at the... I wonder if the jurors have it. Nope. The jurors aren't counted. Maybe Egger's the real killer. That's what I'm predicting. What's everyone talking about?
Counsel.
Yes, sir? Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. 2. 2. 2 bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene.
Indeed. When it first presented, a picture showed the damage caused by the second bullet or the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar.
Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. A revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and the Skulkin Brothers revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each.
Now then, my learned friend, you yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Sherlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find...
If the single bullet that was fired from the brothers hit Mr. Sholmes, it means...
Mr. Windybank not shot by same gun. Stop. Only 1 bullet. Stop. Oh, but exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Oh, no, wait. Don't go. Ah! Keeps getting blasted. You are not a clown, you're the entire circus. Order! Order! Just wait, Ow! Pray forgive the discourtesy of spilling the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Oh hell! Ah, sweet, free wine!
Lord Van Zeeks.
But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with a murder weapon. But how else would, and I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc! We could finally check to see whose blood it is on that disc.
I'll be taking that whatever it is, a bit gilded, it's down to the yacht, thank you very much.
No, don't! Don't give it to him, it's mine, that is! Mine! I'm fucking up. Ah. Crikey.
I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken as evidence now.
That's mine, isn't it? Yes, that music box disc. McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. Yes, it does! And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence.
Good gracious!
Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. Fuck them kids. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed. No crime she would not commit. You're prejudiced, dude. The court forgets that act as its peril.
I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament to the defendant's character.
Lord Van Zakes, Inspector Gregson. What?
Yes, Inspector.
We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence.
What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zeeks at all.
I am unaware of any such meeting. He's going against the rules. Fucking penalize him. No. But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent.
Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord.
Indeed. Bailiff?
The music box disc has been entered into the court record. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. My turn, bitch. There is nothing more to add. Wait. Let me. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. No, fucking objection. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once. For all 5 minutes.
Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Bruno.
My lord. I wonder if I might say something at this point.
Proceed, Mr. Foreman.
Been stumbling about in a bit of fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden...
The answer's bally obvious to me, my man. There's only one thing for it.
Oh no! Oh me, oh my!
Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
No.
Guilty.
No.
Guilty.
Nor.
Guilty.
Nor.
Guilty.
Nor.
Guilty.
Nor. Does the mouse get a vote? Nor. Wait. Objection, motherfucker. Objection.
We have a consensus among the jury, it seems.
Well, now or never. I'm gonna fucking, let's see here. Give me that dick. Look, blood.
Oh, Bruno, look. This is blood.
Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before.
Haha, then it's my time to shine again. Thought I'd be waiting forever. Alright, now hold still with that disc, Bruno.
Can we get this done quickly, Iris?
In a flash.
They're about to hand down the verdict. Why? What the fuck are you two doing? Why are you playing with colored smoke? Green. Herlock Sholmes, Mrs. Blood.
A bright shade again.
Wait, that color.
What is it?
It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? Mr. Sholmes' blood is green. Let's look at the blood portfolio. Wait. Same shade of green. That's Mr. Sholmes. Anyway. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
That's my line. I wrote that for Harley. How dare he use it against us?
Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windymake. That is beyond any doubt.
Very well. We will proceed with the second submission examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready?
Oh, I didn't even have to request it. He just went straight to it. I fucking... This is gonna be a new tradition. And, like, Van Zeek's next case with, like, a different attorney, he's gonna be like, alright, the defense will now do there's somebody shit out. He'll be like, God, what the fuck? I thought that was shit. No!
Curative squadron, primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.
The jurors' contentions.
What's a rogue always a rogue, I say? Different breed to us law-abiding citizens.
Oh, God! Just straight to the eugenics, dude. It's like, yeah, some people are biologically different enough, and it is in their genetics to commit crimes. You're supposed to say it's because of the culture. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Each way you look at it, it was that pickpocket.
I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief.
The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see him in for a busy day indeed. I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns. Ah.
It would seem there's little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chopping block. But that fell apart like a house of cards. I saw that, I'd be jolly well been hooked-winked.
Well, no more. Just a second. Sorry. Oh, the whole courtroom is turning against me. It's not fair. Iris? That prosecutor's being mean. Just because Ginny's done some things she shouldn't have done in the past doesn't make her a murderer. Yeah, he's prejudiced against the lower class. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. How dare you! Ryunosuke is very fruity. Oh, sorry. I had to. Here's to the truth coming out eventually.
That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination.
I just realized, does Apollo do that same thing when he's like slapping himself? I'll have to check that. Yes, my lord. Jury examination. All right. Once a rogue, always a rogue. As only 2 bullets are found at the scene. You don't need a stereoscope. Huh. Well, I don't see... I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. Accused attempted a theft on the previous day. What do you mean you're in for a busy day? I forgot to say, stop. Do excuse me. Stop. I am a communications officer. Stop. Ah. You're the right age to be a code breaker during World War I. A communications officer? Does that have something to do with sending telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and tap it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world? Thousands of miles of cable under the sea. Stop. Worldwide communication network. Stop. Information transmitted to and from all corners of globe. Stop. Ah, yes. She was getting equally worked up about radio waves or like before, wasn't she? I specialize in communicating information from government departments and newspaper offices. I see. I'm sure I shall have to wire the newspaper reports of today's guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Let's just finish the trial first, shall we? But what I don't get is... I am ballistics expert. I thought you were just a tourist. He can have a hobby. He can be a ballistics expert on vacation. Or... Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. There's no way he's just a visiting tourist. So you're a ballistics expert? Who knew? I have much experience with guns. Ah. I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent bath of, blood of enemies. Ah, extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps? Da, those. Extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult done. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There's nothing I do not know. No mystery I cannot solve. He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure. But, if possible, please, only in Russian language.
He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he?
No, still, we should bear it in mind. He's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets. Van Zieks has managed to convince everyone. When you have eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't! If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. We still don't know for certain where that gun, which gun, because yes, only 2 bullets, but we don't know which bullet was fired at, but I can't present anything to these people. Can I? Can I present? Nope, can't present. Because I still think that it's possible that this bullet is from Windy Bank's gun. It's entirely possible. Nothing to do, no. 2 bullets were found. Yes, but which bullet came from which gun? It's the number of bullets that has you convinced.
Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings.
Well, that's logical, I suppose.
Although...
Yes?
Sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china.
Does your employer dine with thieves?
So, I suppose.
Well, he dines with capitalists, if that counts.
If there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position.
A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene. Could that be possible? Maybe. Maybe. Let's look at the... Let's see. Where would the bullet have gone, though? Because... we have 1 gun, a single fire, a single shot. There would have to have been another gun. So you know what, for now, I'm just gonna say... I'll just see just for heck. Just because... Oh! No, 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 not yet. Not yet. We'll save that for later. God, I gotta trim my toenails. Not now. Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation.
Yes, I know.
Right.
And I don't imagine the good men of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed a bullet while I was checking his lordship's office, well... I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt.
And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. Sounds like a crime scene to me. Who the fuck do you work for?
A 3rd bullet. It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it?
Oh, that was me. If there was...
Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere?
Maybe. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every way you look at it, it was that pickpocket.
Hold it!
That's... Just because Mr. Straight has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder? Is that what you're saying? Well... Aren't all members of the British Army so quick to judge? Yes. Especially George Orwell, that fuck. I beg your pardon.
Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world?
You lost to a bunch of fucking... You lost to a bunch of rednecks with squirrel guns. No, I'm simply illustrating my point. In 1816, we took a love trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. We took a little bacon and we took a little beans and down to New Orleans. Making assumptions about people just because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous.
Well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through. Can't deny it.
When you say that she'd shown she had it in her, are you referring to this?
Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier, Or am I mistaken?
Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that.
I've never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it.
Yes, of course. I wonder, is that note still there? The note from Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe.
We still don't know what tune to place, though, do we? But I'd love to see how the original compares to Harley's copy.
McGilded's desk. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. Okay, I already examined the blood. Let's look at some other shit. Maybe the note is still there? It is still there. For McGilded. That's the man you defended in court a couple months ago, isn't it, Runo? Yes, or rather, mistakenly defended.
I wonder what his name is doing on the back of this disc.
That's a question I'd love to know the answer to myself. Maybe just look at it? No? It's not a... No, it's a sticker. It's a fucking sticker. Well, I've done all I can do. Don't need a stereoscope to see here. There's gotta be... So if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures. A left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly. Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions. Like this. So if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them? Huh. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulker brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, is it? This is a waste of time. I'm not gonna change this man's mind anytime soon. Man, that just makes you want to try even harder to change his mind.
I never imagined the simple armor to cause me such grief.
Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with this trial, to be honest.
Huh?
I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet simply vanished from his stomach. That's quite inexplicable, don't you think?
There wasn't 2 bullets found on the scene. I almost don't want to ask, but is this surgery you've been muttering? But this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on.
What was the fellow's name now? Hairlick? No. Hairlock? No. Hairlock?
Herlock Sholmes, by any chance?
Yes, good lord. It was that Hairlock fellow.
What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes?
That's right, using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It's a fairly major op, I can tell you.
This is crazy.
Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. He said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so he opened it up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find the bullet anywhere.
A literal comb?
So I really have to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up.
Well, of course not. The bullet went straight through him. I hate to state the obvious, but...
Yes?
Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting.
The counsel for the defense is correct, as is clearly shown in this photographic print.
The bullet that the Skulker brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem 3-dimensionally.
Who do you think I am, son?
Well, but jar number 4 is about the best I can do.
As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over.
Like a pancake? Or are you saying that you checked his back?
Of course I did. And there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all.
What?
That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I said about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery?
It's almost as much of a mystery as how the jury was put together. The mystery of where that bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert when you need one? Oh!
Objection.
Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other.
Oh, a ballistics expert.
Bitten. B-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Whelan. Pleased to meet you. This apparent contradiction in the facts is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery?
I have seen very similar situation in Motherland.
Oh.
It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold. Golly. The snow was piling high on both sides of road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles, and they were on dog sleds.
Mental note, don't ask too many questions.
I was shot from behind, and I fell downward in snow. And the situation was very similar to what I hear today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. I had no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. So then where did the boy go? Bullet never hit me.
Oh?
Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down?
Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What?
One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made a deep wound that looks just like bullet wound.
Good gracious.
Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. But that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in a pawnbroker shop. Not some snowy mountain road in another country.
That's true. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here.
You know, where exactly was Hurley shot again?
Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think.
Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt.
A pouch? You didn't bother to tell me this earlier! Like maybe yesterday? Actually, I might have noticed something like that.
Yes, a pouch. That's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations.
What? You didn't tell- That is very fucking important! Doctor, where is the pouch Mr. Sholmes is wearing?
Well... A fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember.
If I may, Lord Van Zieks, while I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during the summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. God damn it, that's 2 for 2 for important evidence that is only just being revealed to me! Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment.
Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred.
Very well. While extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Sherlock Sholmes' pouch.
Or maybe it was Zeeks who said that. Bring forth the pouch. Bring his bag. Show us his bag.
I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it?
That's not a pouch. It's more like a holster. Look at that. One of the files is broken, and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded.
Exploded?
So that night, the bullet from the Skulkin Brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch.
And it was the glass vial exploded that caused the fellow's injury.
This bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into wall of shop. Oh, God damn it! So it was... I thought the bullet was unrelated. A lightly complex aroma. I thought it would be like that. It was a third bullet. But no, it's not a third bullet.
Well, it appears one mystery has been solved at least.
I mean, maybe it could still be the third bullet. Maybe there is still a missing bullet. And it has no bearing on the truth of this case. Oh, just you wait. Just you wait. The Bunglin and Berglin brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. You've opened the door to the possibility that it was the brothers who shot the pawnbroker. Just gotta keep that door open enough, and the truth will come out.
Thank you, young man.
Da. Thank you very much. Danke. Glad I could help. No, wait, that's German. I don't know what thank you in Russian is.
Due to its bearing on the court conundrum just solved, the court will sequester the scruffy pouch evidence.
Are these pouches and scruffy?
It's pretty scruffy. Mr. Sholmes, the scruffy pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing around his waist at the time of the shooting.
Now, the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion.
No, no. Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. Still a way to turn this around. Somehow. I'm sure of it. Let's look at that fucking... scorch marks, eh? What are these vials, eh?
These glass vials are full of Harley's homemade potions.
Homemade?
Yes, like fingerprint powder to show up where people have touched things. And scent amplifying solution to intensify a smell lingering on an object.
That's amazing.
They're all very easy to use. There's just one thing that you have to be careful of. They're all very flammable.
Mr. Sholmes is a walking bomb. Even if he's passionate about finding out the truth, or just oblivious to the dangers. Look, there's the exit. Oh, look. There's a hole here at the back. Doesn't look much like a bullet hole, but clearly something's ripped through the leather with great force.
Something must have pierced it somehow to left this
hole behind. Yes, it looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? Which means... oh! Huh. And there's the entry wound. It's really scorched badly just here.
Oh, the strap is broken, look!
This must be where the bullet hit then.
Let me see.
Oh! Oh my god! I knew it! I fucking called it! What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was. Do you see it?
Ah, that's the Skulkin Brothers bullet!
What a stroke of luck that it hit this pouch! This is an amazing discovery. What this means is, there were 3 bullets fired at Windybanks that night.
We've got exactly what that juror was talking about.
A 3rd bullet! It's time to press that juror again, I think. Alright! Oh yeah, baby! It's my turn to present surprise evidence. Oh baby, I'm going off the walls in this place. Hold it up! It's the number of the bullets. So yeah. This talk. Respect the service industry. I can prove it. Oh, music stopped. Allow me to show you then. The 3rd bullet. My attorney's badge. No, it's this. I could have just got... oh, whatever. Here it is. We discovered it just now. Slam. Yes. On the night in question in Windybank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired. What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where do you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? Yeah, I'm surprised you're so cooperative. Thanks for showing me the pouch, dude. This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to hospital. And since then, it has been touched by no one.
Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin Brothers that night?
Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch.
But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print.
Then that... 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence, and they were both...
Yes, that of Mr. Winterbank, and that belonged to the Skulkin Brothers.
An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each.
Ah. But that must mean...
That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment.
Ah.
Gah! Shot through the heart, and you're to blame.
Order! While the summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built.
Yeah.
As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination.
By Jupiter!
What?
Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once.
Well, at least we're getting somewhere.
Witnesses, Governor, were you listening to proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination?
We was, Governor, we was.
Perhaps we can dispense with a tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A 3rd bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that?
May I make of it, Gov? I didn't make nothing of it. Nothing, if I could help it.
Is it one of yours?
God blimey, Gov, God blimey, not a chance.
In that case, did you have an accomplice?
What? What? Never! The Skulkin Brothers work alone.
3rd Skulkin Brother, it's fucking Eggs Benedict.
Just the 2 of us, that's our trademark.
How soon we forget poor Sulky. Eggs Benedict is sulky. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it?
Lummy, that's an head scratcher. Counsel for the defense.
Yes.
I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The 3rd bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came.
Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard, and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture. A picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what this 3rd bullet tells us about the Skulkin Brothers. They had a secret accomplice, or they had another gun. Okay, first, I'm going with my instinct. They had another gun. Because that should be easier to prove than there was an accomplice, right? On that night at Windybank's Pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been in possession of another gun. We know that only 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms already in the court record. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that the brothers were working with an accomplice. An accomplice who was carrying a gun. Wait a minute. So, I guess the same thing would have happened if I picked... Okay, that's weird. There's only one answer, and both answers are the same answer. An accomplice, you say? Pigswill. That's a new one. Pigswill what? These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has been not a murmur of a 3rd man. It is apparently wraith-like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed.
The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts.
Again, firstly, proof,
Evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime.
and secondly, the identity of the spurious character. The Skulkins are lying, I know that. Oh, but how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? I think I can...
Well, counsel?
I think I can figure out... I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice, and reveal the person's identity even. In response to the prosecution's demand, my lord, the defense is... It's tough work. Ready to present answers. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. Slap it in. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference.
In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene?
Okay, pawnbroker's ticket. Evidence of a third person. Wait. No. Thought the marionette was a person. I mean, maybe. Pawnbroker perishes in Peckford Splendor. How awful! For Jenny, I mean. But tomorrow's headline will be Discharged Diver as Dallas Duguid, or... Right? No, I already fucking examined that! Bigger. How? Proud pickpocket protects planet post-trial, perhaps. Protects planet? Ooh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great! He's dead. Oh! The back. There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well, look! Ministry mole. Classified secrets may have overleaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. For a 10-year-old, our certainly has her finger on the pulse of world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently, they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted, but how would somebody be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Rudo? No, of course not. I wonder. Perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Grixie running from pillar to post at the moment. Oh! Government secrets being leaked to foreign agencies. How is that important? Can I, open the paper, unfold it? No. Well, that's not gonna help me. The pawnbroker's ticket. Found by the victim, Mr. Mason's. A gilded case notes. Omnibus. Mason, Milverton, Magnus McGilded, Learned Antiques. Oh!
Take that!
Damn it. Oh, fuck you, dude. Let's just try saying, no, I don't have evidence. Maybe that's what I had to do. Because, like... the defense is... unable to complete a sentence, it would seem. Much less provide any credible answers here.
Yes, it would appear so. Very well, this trial would out.
Oh! Wait. Please.
Good gracious, counsel.
I have to keep the momentum going on here. I can't give up now. This is just like scientific research affects me. Sorry. When you start doubting yourself and thinking you can't possibly work something out, you become blind. Even though in truth, the answer you're looking for is right there in front of you. The answer is right in front of me. My lord, actually, the defense would like to present answers to the questions posed by the prosecution. So, my Nepalese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. But your earlier tongue-tied display will not go unpunished. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Like, really, fuck you with a fucking chainsaw. Like a motherfucking chainsaw. Ready to present answers. Gabba gabba looba looba. Let me examine that paper again, just to be safe. This could be important later. It'll be important later. Yeah, that's the same shit. Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. Howard Stern's penis. Howard Stern's penis. This is staying in the recording. Fuck you. Proof. Let me save first. Well, let's see here. A third intruder. Portfolio. Iris' story. Pawnbroker's ticket. Today's paper. Crime scene. Wow. Oh, look at that. It's totally changed shape just from one little button press. Why has it gotta be slanted? What's the point of that? Well, that's what the buttons were, you know? You're just like Early. You boys love pressing buttons, don't you? Especially if you don't know what they do. Us boys, as a 10-year-old girl. Anyway, now you can see that that really is a stereoscope, can't you? Yeah, but I don't get it. Is there something... You have to pop your 2 prints in there to start with, you see? And then, when you look through the eyepieces, you can see the image in 3 dimensions. The important thing is to go right in the position of the 2 prints. I don't know who came up with this idea of the stereoscope, but it's really quite fascinating. Well, no evidence here. Let's see. Let's look at the bullet. Look at that, it's dented. This is the bullet that was fired from the Skulkin Brothers' gun on the night of the incident. Yes, so it turns out it never actually entered Hurley's body at all. Thanks to the thick leather of that pouch he was wearing. It saved him. Hurley's always lucky like that. Well, considering what he had to go through in the hospital, I wonder how lucky he really was. Oh dear, poor Hurley. Yeah, okay. Pawnbroker's ticket. Handwritten notes on the... Oh, wait a minute. For one coat. He never had the name. Wasn't the name. Hand photograph. For the... A redemption ticket. Oh, wait a minute. For the box. Ah. One small box. Small box. Tickets coat. Blood samples. Iris. Wait a minute. Is it the disc? Come on. The blood? Ah, it was the blood. The evidence is right here in this portfolio.
By Jove, that portfolio again, is it?
And do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. Okay. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it? It was this. Look, same shade of blood. This is the blood sample that proves it. Fuck you! Let me do it again. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Fucking duck. Ugh. Let me try again. Let me try again. Stop fucking busting my balls.
Take that!
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the butthole in the middle of the calendar.
That's a bloodstain, my lord. A bloodstain?
A bloodstain?
Green blood. Curious, even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Sherlock Holmes. By the great detective! New invention. Stop. Not yet appeared in stories. Stop. It's this, you see? It doesn't have a name yet, though. Could call it the blood tester. Blood tester gun. This pogger sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood?
Yes. Everyone's blood is slightly different, you see. Because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Ooh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom. Stop. Very exciting. Stop. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windybank.
A striking blue.
Yes, so you see, the green color of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop.
Now hold fire there, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, could it?
No, it's not unrelated. Oh, the date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windybank was killed.
By golly!
Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day.
Then whose blood is it?
Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
You're gonna say that that's Sherlock's blood. Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? It was Eggs Benedict!
Take that!
The man's name is Eggert Benedict.
Eggert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, Counsel?
He paid a visit to Windybank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place, when the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. It was her fucking coat, man! That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Eggert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Look at this pasty white fuck. No, it doesn't. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being dope, I asked Windybank for a print showing the fellow. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder gubbinses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windybank that morning.
And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice?
Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Never seen this geezer before in me life.
On me life, Gov, on me life. Never seen him.
Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion.
I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. I have. Yes, and I can. Then show us the evidence. I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom.
Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel?
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in this photograph was in fact the person struck by the third bullet. It's the disc. As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windybanks.
Wishes Wendy and aforementioned Egbert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no?
That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. I'm not... Being a music box disc, there's countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed, and the resultant smear of blood is still visible on the disc now.
Goodness, a bloodstain, is it?
My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom.
Using my trusty fogger gun.
Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio.
I say, yes, great. It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar.
The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egbert Benedict, who was at Windybanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that night.
So there was someone else there. Look at those two brothers now. They're sweating buckets. Boy, what are you talking about? It's boiling in here.
My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the court to testify.
It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law.
Sherlock Holmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances defined by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you so seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Ah, well... But... And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Gah. Yeah, but... Well then, what? Well then, that would still mean that there was someone else. I don't have to prove that it was Egbert, but I still have, but there is proof that there was an accomplice. God, I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. Well, what other choice did I have?
I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before.
I mean, it's more reliable than fingerprints.
About how he was temporarily suspended the summation examination.
Ah.
In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Good grief. What did you just say, young girl?
And in a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it?
Ah.
So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now.
Yes, she's right.
Young lady, you have quite the devious mind.
Hell yeah, technicalities. You're technically correct. The best kind of correct.
It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runo. Is that about right, would you say?
Or did I misunderstand something? No, you got it. Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Harris Wilson, sharpshooter.
After that shrewd process of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous submission examination has yet to reach its conclusion.
This is absurd.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leanings in this matter.
Ladies and gentlemen of the giraffe.
As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decisions in time, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Guilty.
Ah, he's still not convinced.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
The trial must continue because the vote was not unanimous.
2 call guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage! Ah ha ha, the line from the trailer. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. That was also in the trailer.
On what grounds?
If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt.
I'm sorry, Lord Van Zieks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue.
No! No! Ah, finally. Now he's sweating.
Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that it will be impossible.
What?
The name of the gentleman gave for himself, Egbert Benedict, is quite clearly false.
I don't believe it. He's skulky. He's skulking. Just when I had managed to prove the man was there that night. We can't find him. Could I say something?
Huh? Who was that, please? Who spoke?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was the Skulkin brothers finally coming clean. It was me, my lord. Juror number 5, the communications matter.
What do you have to say, madam?
If possible, Inspector.
May, ma'am.
I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again. The one which the gentleman is shown.
Ah, right. Yeah, this one you mean, of Mr. Benedict.
Yes, there's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man? Yes, I know him. What?
Ah, good gracious. Oh, good heavens. Oh, good heavens. Juror number 5, how on earth?
I am a communications officer. Stop. As we can clearly see, the gentleman in the photograph is... Stop. Also a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop. Lord. A very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop. Why is he dressed like a dandy? This doesn't seem right somehow. Can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. He's skulking, I'm telling you! I suppose we all imagined the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. Yes, I suppose that's it. Suppose that's why I felt something was wrong.
If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Zieks, if you please.
Yes, my lord. Saying it through gritted teeth.
Make the necessary arrangements with all haste.
As your lordship bids.
The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson?
Yes, my lord.
I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess.
Yes, sir, my lord.
Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m.
Oh, wow.